Universally, around the world, people recognize blood is life. The value of the blood in a man and a woman is different. Commercial media portrays blood from a woman as blue liquid, and little had changed. Collectively, people follow traditions, taboos, beliefs, and habits without thinking.
Sad news out of Nepal as a teenage girl dies after she was banished to a shed while menstruating. Chaupati is the ancient Hindu practice of keeping young women away from normal activities while they're on their period or after childbirth due to the idea that they're impure. Investigators believe the 15-year-old died of suffocation from the smoke of a fire she lit to keep herself warm.
Where I come from, in West Nepal, there's a tradition called Chaupati, where people who menstruate are exiled as untouchables. Many people in this part of the country believe that menstruating women will contaminate the home and anger the gods. They believe family members and livestock will get sick or even die if a menstruating woman doesn't exile herself. Women and girls are forced away from their homes into tiny huts.
This shed is absolutely tiny. It's impossible to stand straight. You can touch both walls with your hands. And this is supposed to be one of the bigger sheds. It's absolutely dark over here once you close this door.
In addition to humiliation, many times the girls get raped, attacked by wild animals, beaten by snakes, or die of smoke inhalation after starting a fire to heat their tiny hut.
It was the 4th day of my period and I was sleeping in the goat. At about 11 p.m. or midnight, the guy came and raped me. I was very scared at that point and couldn't scream or even say anything to anyone.
Sleeping alone or piled in with other women, the goat is a vulnerable place.
I'm afraid of sleeping in the goat, but sleeping in the goat is a requirement.
We'd like to think taboos like this happen only in far, far away lands. When a drop of blood was shown on a menstrual product in 2011, it became a historical moment for selling products. But otherwise, by 2017, very few things have changed.
I'm Melissa Forsyth. I'm the shelter manager for the Committee Against Domestic Abuse. One of the struggles that women in America face when it comes to menstruation is acceptance, access to resources, and being able to safely seek out health care. So, for example, homeless women who don't have access to funds to buy products or may not have access to programs that might provide those products and those resources are having to really plan ahead. They might be using socks, rolling up socks as tampons, using toilet paper from public bathrooms, getting pads and then cutting them up to ration the supplies that they're given. The problem with a lot of that then is the hygiene behind it and the safe use. It really can impact how a woman plans for where she's going to be, especially if she's homeless or transient and trying to get to where she needs to be in preparation for that time of the month for her.
We all have the right to live in dignity, be safe, and be free. A society that stigmatizes menstruation is a society that violates human rights.
For women who are menstruating, it's kind of a period of vulnerability. You may not feel well, you may be really tired, you may be really run down, on top of having to maintain your hygiene during that time a little more than probably you would any other time of the month. So for knowing this and knowing that this is a period of vulnerability for women in an abusive relationship, it's something that I think abusive partners tend to feed on. There are also tactics that men use in abusive relationships to request or to force her to give him things, whether it's sexually, emotionally, physically. It's going to be a way, again, to control her and to have power over her.
Hey,
Hi, Mr.
how are you,
President?
Ingrid?
I'm wonderful.
Good to see you.
Great to see you. Welcome to my living room.
It is very stylish, as I would expect.
Now, something that's really important to me and my audience is women's health.
Yeah.
And recently I was shocked to learn that pads, tampons, and other menstrual products are taxed as luxury goods in 40 states.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone who has a period that thinks it's a luxury. Because
I think that's fair to say. Michelle would agree with you on that.
yes, because it's something that's part of our everyday lives and is
Right.
really crucial to our health as women.
Right.
And so I want to know, why do these items continue to be taxed?
I have to tell you, I have no idea why states would tax these as luxury items. I suspect it's because men were making the laws
Yeah.
when those taxes were passed, and I think it's pretty sensible for women in those states that you just mentioned to work to get those taxes removed. You know, the basic idea is that women should not be at a disadvantage in the healthcare system, and this is just one more example of it, which I confess I was not aware of until you brought up to my attention.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now you know, and now many other people
Yes,
know.
Absolutely.
So we know that there are some correctional institutions that still require that women work off their ability to be able to get certain products. So whether that's hygiene products, soap, shampoo, but even also pads and tampons. If they, depending on the type of job that they're assigned for that day or that week, it may not amount to enough, or they might be bartering quite a bit in jail while they're incarcerated. We also work with a lot of trans men who, depending on where they're at in their transition, whether by choice or by the access to resources, also continue to menstruate. And so for trans men, trying to get resources while already being discriminated against and facing a lot of risk of violence, whether it's sexual violence or hate crimes, their access to resources are going to be even more limited.
Collectively, people follow traditions, taboos, beliefs, and habits without thinking. Are you unintentionally following habits that are dangerous? Think.